What's going on, guys? This is take two. I actually trying something different. I am having issues with the broadcast dropping and losing my video feed for some reason. But this time I want to run it through Google Hangouts and see if that makes a difference. So if anybody jumps back on here, I had a few people in the last video. I'm getting ready to do Amazon. This is the third box. If you go back, it's a short video. It went about 3 or 4 minutes before I got cut off. I kind of explained, but long story short is my previous unboxing, I realized that I was shorted about 22 items. So I was able to work things out with my supplier, and then I just received the rest of the items today. So if you go back to like part 2 at the end of that video, I'm kind of in the video. I'm starting to realize that not everything's there. I don't really make too much mention of it, but I went back, double-checked the manifest, and cross-referenced everything. And like I said, there's a bunch of stuff missing, and it was an issue on their part, so they corrected. They shipped it to me for free. I did open one item so far, and we'll get ready to go through the rest. I've just opened this in-case backpack, and these are pretty nice backpacks. They sell pretty well. If you can see over here, I still have a bunch of stuff that I was actually waiting to process because there should be similar items to that I wanted to add to it so I can do them all at once. So that's where we're at. Let me just make sure everything is good here on the broadcast. All right. So looks like sorry about that. Looks like we're running pretty good. All right, so let's get back into it. So I was missing a bunch of these. These are the DeWalt flashlights. They go for around $30 a piece. I think I paid around 10 for them. So 10 to 15, something in that range. There's a bunch of these. Some are loose. I'll sell these loose ones as used, even though they're like mint condition. And I do have a battery. There should be another battery in here, actually. So I can test this battery along with all the flashlights to make sure. And these go for around $40 a piece. So I'm calling this the high ends lot because everything on here is worth enough to sell online. It's not like cheap stuff. It's all, $25, $30 or more. This looks like this is like a bathtub mogul, and surprisingly, these things were selling for like 25 bucks. It's called the submarine spray station. It might even be a toy for like hoses if you're playing outside, like a sprinkler toy. But that's that. And then we have some more DeWalt stuff. So as you can tell, as I was going through this, it's a pretty significant amount of stuff, and I noticed it right away when I was looking at the DeWalt that there was so few flashlights. And this is going to be super easy. We'll make one listing with multiple quantities. We'll make one listing for the used with multiple quantities, and they'll continually sell until I sell out of them. Here's a small little chess set. I don't recall the value on this, but it must have been over 20 bucks. Everything looks like it's brand new. The manifest that I was provided didn't give pricing. With my supplier, he sends me products that he has, and I make an offer, and then we negotiate from there. So I pretty much look up each item and determine what I want to pay for it. This is another one of those baby spray station things. All right. In my last video, I did actually have 2 of these. So here's 2 more. These are look like they're brand new, ready to go. So this is the waterproof holster. So you could put a, I guess it's called a Flex Safe Aquavault. I think they sell for around 30. And then I had 2 of these helmets. One was matte black and one was gray that were missing. And these are in really good condition. They're all, to me, I think that the reason people are returning these is because they just didn't fit. So they try it on, doesn't fit. They send it back for a different size. So I don't know if you can see over here, but all these are the same thing. So I have a bunch of those back in the corner there. All right. Here we go. Let's keep going. It's actually not, it's not as many. It's not a lot of stuff to go through because it's mostly, there was eight of the 22 items were those DeWalt flashlights. So, and then we had the Marpac Dome adjustable sleep sound machine for babies, and these sell really well if you look these up. They also had already put condition information on here for me, so these items have already been inspected and supposedly tested. I'll double check the electronics to make sure, and I will be selling all these on eBay. So there's one, there's another one of those, and then there's a third one of those. So these sell really well. And then, actually, there's only one more item. Oh, wait, it's heavy. Let's see what we got here. So this is a Radio Flyer Classic Pink Tricycle. Pink dual deck. So this is kind of a big and bulky item. I'll have to do a check for all the pieces, but actually it's actually still factory wrapped on everything. I'll show you here in a second. But you can see that all the pieces still have the actual, even the pedals from the bike have the paper wrapped on them. So it's never been put together or used. So that's pretty exciting. It's a bulky item, but that's not a big deal because it can ship out right in the same box. And I could ship a FedEx for pretty cheap, so I'll be interested to see what this is valued at. We'll look that one up. So that's actually it. And this is a nice box I can save for Amazon shipments. Pretty heavy duty. Thinking I will look up. I'm gonna look up this chess set real quick to see how much this is worth. I have eBay open over here. I'm not gonna be able to share it on my screen, but I can just tell you guys. They are 38. Someone's got an used auction going for starting bid $12.99, 34, 38. Those are asking prices. So on average, they're asking around $35. And then one sold internationally for 20. Now that's just based off of the UPC. A lot of sellers don't put that in. I always do. So there could be other sales, but it's looking like it's probably gonna be a slower, a long tail item. It's gonna take a little while for it to sell, but around $30 is what I would ask for it. Let's see. See, maybe I'll look up. I'll look these up as well, real quick. Let you guys know. Wow. So the last 3 results for this thing, which is the Oh, sorry. Guess it helps if I hold it the right way. Apparently, these guys were on Shark Tank. I didn't see that episode. Oh, I don't think it's not for a gun. It's for like if you're at like the beach, you can hook this up to your lawn chair and put your valuables, your phone, your money in there. It's water resistant and has a lock on it. So the last three, one sold for $40, one sold for $48.50, and the third one down sold for $46 for these. I typically, for when I'm dealing with my guy here, I'm normally paying around a third of the value. So I would have looked that up and said it's probably a $45 item. So roughly $15 is probably what I paid for these. After fees and everything, I should net 15 or 20 profit. So they're lightweight. They'll ship first class. Just double check that. They're probably 10 ounces maybe. 10.5 ounces. So I have 3 of these. And then I'm going to look up one of these for you guys. One of these, the Marpac Dome sound machines, but they're all covered in like Amazon covered up labels. I'm going to take the heat gun and try to pull some of these off so I can just scan it. That way, I like searching by the UPC because I know that's the exact model that I have to actually see what the market's doing. Sometimes there'll be like an older variation. If you just type it in by the title, you might get other variations mixed in. So I like to either look by the model number or by the UPC, and then worst case scenario, I'll type out the whole long form title of what it is. But basically, I just use this Wagner heat gun. I'll heat up the stickers, and then I use this little mini Gerber knife to pull them. So, as you can see, and that actually took a second for the heat gun to peel off, but now I have the actual UPC. I can just scan that right into eBay. All right. So 9 have sold recently, and $34.95 for brand new, $34.95 for brand new, 17 plus shipping for used. Someone took a best offer of $29.99 plus shipping. So they're going between $25 to $35. Normally, I'll be closer to the higher end, something like this. If it weighs under 2 pounds, I do free shipping. And it actually weighs 1 pound 15 ounces. So I don't, unless I ship it in like a clear, a thin poly bag without any extra padding, I might be able to get it out for under 2. But what I'll do is if like the average selling price is between 25 and 30, I'll go towards the higher side. Say something like this under 2 pounds, I'll be at 30 or 35 and then do free shipping. So that's how I price my stuff. Like the radio flyer bike, since that's a heavier item, I'll see what the market is asking or getting, and I'll do 10 or 15 bucks less and then do calculated shipping. Because if someone buys that locally within a couple regions around me, then I'll be able to probably ship it for 10 bucks. But if someone buys in California, it might cost like 30 or 40 bucks. So I would prefer the customer to pay that shipping. That way that extra difference isn't on me. And I'm fine with waiting because what's going to happen is the further people are away from me, the less likely they're going to want to buy my item because it's my item's going to get more and more expensive depending on how far they are. But if someone's real close to me, their calculated shipping is going to be a lot less, and I may be the cheapest person on eBay. So a lot of times with the big items, they'd sit for a little while, but I sell them nearby to where I live. So that's pretty cool. That's about it. The other items I've already discussed the values of. So I think that's it. I'm actually going to jump off of here and process this stuff real quick. What I'm going to do is that information we were just talking about with like the shipping and stuff, I'll put it on these little tags that I created. And I'll put the title or, see the UPC all the critical information my lister needs to know, the pricing, my shipping methods, what it's going to weigh, how many I have, what condition they are. I'll stick that on there, and then she'll photograph them, and we'll send the pictures off to be listed virtually by my VA. So that's what I found to be the best way for me to get a lot of product listed, and less time on my hand. I'll be able to go through what's here in less than an hour, prep it all, and then when she comes over, probably over the weekend, she'll be able to get it all photographed and ready for eBay. Anyway, sorry for the short video, guys. Sorry, there was a short clip of this video prior to this, and more of an introduction that I got kicked off. It looks like the Google Hangouts might be a better way to go. I didn't have any issues with this one. I hope. Let's see. We got a couple people in live. We got Eric and Rusty Raccoon. What's going on, guys? Any other websites that you use besides liquidation.com? I've checked out a bunch. Really, I do use Bstock. All the major corporations are on there. You got to be careful. It is a bidding site, and you're definitely bidding against bigger sellers that are willing to pay more. And you also have to realize with liquidation is not everyone that buys this stuff is online seller. So if someone's running a flea market stand or one of those mall stands or like a a secondhand clothing store, they may be able to pay a little bit more than what you can for reselling online. But if you go to Bstock, you will find like Walmart, Target, BJ's, Costco, and then they have their own bidding not their own bidding platform, but their own like store where they allow sellers to sell under the Bstock name. So, but there's a lot more verification that goes into that, and on there you're less likely to get a bad buy, but you are more likely to spend a lot more money. Most of the average lots on there are going for $2,000 and up. So you got to kind of know a little bit more. I haven't gone into any deep dives into Bstock yet. Right now I'm doing more of like the introductory level stuff on YouTube, and then like doing some unboxing, which is fun. I know people enjoy. Hey, what's up, CJ? Anybody else had any questions? I know that tonight the Bearded Picker was live with Rise and Grind and John, so I was watching a little bit of that, but I wanted to jump on and do this unboxing because, like I said, I had 2 other videos that I did from this source that I've unboxed on YouTube, but then realized that I got ripped off and not everything was included. So went back, figured out what was missing, and then sent that to my supplier. And there was no issue. We consolidated everything but one item, and that would end up being just another flashlight that he was saying that it must have been sent, but it wasn't. I'm not worried about it. This, I only paid $15 for it, so. CJ, what is your question about direct liquidation? Not sure if that's a site or if you're asking me if you ever buy direct liquidation. Like, for instance, this product here would be considered direct liquidation because I bought it from the vendor who's selling these products. So they have a couple brands and a couple different websites that they represent underneath of like a main corporation, and I'm dealing with the sales guy at the corporation buying their returns. And then they also have staff where they will go through and inspect and retest and relist stuff. But sometimes it's just not worth their time. So these items were already inspected. I'll still double check them, but it's a big help. I have not used direct liquidation. I have seen it before, but normally what you'll find, and what I said in a lot of my videos, is once you find a couple good sources, you normally, ride those out as long as you can until they start drying up and you start finding more. I'm always looking for new sources, but right now I have probably more inventory that I can handle. I have a bunch of product over in storage and I have a lot of summer apparel that I bought like at the end of summer, start of winter last year. So it's probably at least a full pallet of shorts, bathing suits, stuff like that we need to process. So is my top pick liquidation.com? My top pick is always the direct sources that I've always found. Next, I would say liquidation.com, buying from the Amazon returns, and then buying through B Stock. I've had a couple. And with B Stock, what you can do is when you go under, you have an option. There'll be like 30 different vendors that sell in there. But the one that says B Stock Supply, that means B Stock is vouching for these companies. It's a multitude of companies, kind of like Liquidation. But B Stock said, we're going to, these sellers are approved, which is a much harder process. Like I couldn't just go on there and start selling product like I could on liquidation.com. It's a higher vetting process. And but what I was able to do even through that is you can look based on the area. It'll say what area it's coming from. And I found a seller in Maryland that actually I found 2 different sellers in Maryland over the years that I bought from. And then instead of doing shipping, I went and picked it up. But then obviously while I was there, I talked to the guy, got to know him and got his information, and I started working direct with him. The one guy had like a year's worth of supplies. He was selling like a lot of Apple products. I was getting like the Apple pens and Apple authentic cases for like the iPads and stuff. Really nice stuff. There was returns. I don't know where. I think he was getting a lot of stuff from Best Buy, but then I think he lost his contract. And like I said in other videos, a lot of these corporations are running it through a better structure. They're not allowing like the local resellers to come in and buy a pallet from the store. They want everything to go to the distribution center and be auctioned off that way. Not all of them. There are still a few out there, a few guys out there that do have contracts, but the guys I've worked with over the past 5 years, 3 or 4 of them have lost their contracts for the local game. So what's up, Chris Morrow? What's a good method to find local liquidators in Orange, California? Can't seem to find any, which seems odd. Google's really good. Like I said, the B Stock thing, you can look for vendors that are in California. I would definitely do a lot of Google searching and also do directly in Google Maps. Use that search bar and type in wholesale, try liquidation. What else do I normally look for? Supplier, things of that nature. And then the other thing you can do is almost in every town there's some sort of factory or supply house or things of that nature. You can basically cold call, cold email, or just show up and tell them that what you do, explain to them what you're looking for, and see if you can help them. Everyone who has some sort of company that sells product needs to figure out a way to get rid of their returns. So bulk I actually haven't bought from. I looked on there a ton, and there was never anything that jumped out to me. To me, I felt like it seemed like the things from what I was used to paying, it just looked like it was overpriced to me. So I steered away. Me and Chris were actually talking. Chris from Liquidation Ohio. We were talking about looking into that a little bit more and maybe providing some training or things to look for in bulk. I'll probably do like a tutorial and make a couple orders. But CJ saying he agrees. Bulk to me is like you're too far down the line at that point. They're buying a truckload and they're going through, and they're not only they have an eBay store and everything else in Amazon, so they're selling, like they have a team of people that can test stuff and list it, and then they're selling the stuff that they don't want to deal with, and it's to me from what it looked like. Now that things could change. This was probably 2 or 3 years ago when I was looking at it. But right now, I'm still dealing with liquidation.com, the B Stock, a couple vendors on there, and then I have about 4 or 5 of like private local. They're not all local, but deals that I have worked out. Yeah, their flat shipping is nice. That you can get that huge box delivered for $100 or $200. I don't even remember what it was. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining me on the kind of the last minute live video. I don't know why if I go live straight on YouTube, I have so many issues, but yet the last time I did it as I'm on right now as a hangout, and it didn't have any issues. So I'm going to start doing that. Maybe that'll fix it. Like I said, I've only been doing YouTube for like 6 or 7 months. So, but I'm enjoying it because normally I'm sitting down here by myself, drinking a beer and listening to music. So it's cool to be able to work. At some point I was thinking about doing like a working hangout, but I think it's gonna be too boring, and I'm not sure about. I don't think I can really play music in the background because YouTube would block that video. Captive audience, yeah. You guys need to get to bed. Well, I guess depending on where you're at. You're in California, so it's pretty early there still. So 11:30 here, or 11:22. Friday night. Yeah, CJ, I actually already did the unboxing, so you'll have to go back, watch it from the beginning. I'm gonna get off of here in a couple minutes, but it wasn't a lot. It was just one. It was one box from the high end returns that was missing, so I wanted to make sure I opened that up, because if anybody who's watching those other videos are going to say I got ripped off, which is true. This was probably about, I think it was about $1,100 worth of product that was in this last box, maybe a little bit less than that, but. Could you fit 2 pallets in your Ford Edge if you picked it up? That's like the smaller size SUV. It depends how full they are and what they are. If they are in like, sometimes you buy pallets and it's a multitude of boxes that are wrapped together. And then sometimes you buy pallets where it's like everything just mixed in that you can, pull the stuff out and put in different nooks and crannies. I definitely could do 1 in an SUV, but I don't know about 2. That seems like a lot to me. I would probably think that you'd be overdoing it. But you know what? If you have a hitch mount, what I would do before I got my trailer is I have one of those racks that you can put on the back for like hauling stuff, and you can strap down a lot of boxes and stuff on those. They work pretty good. I got one from Harbor Freight for like $80, and we use it all the time. We go like camping and stuff. I put it on the back of the camper and throw the kids' bikes on there. Is there any merchandise that steer clear of? I try to stay. I do health and beauty, but I try to stay away from pharmaceuticals, like medical products. There's just too much liabilities, and they could, a lot of times the products are short dated, so you're selling a product that's close to expiration or is already expired. I wouldn't sell any kind of like training pills or medical pills or anything like that are expired. I got to actually, every once in a while, I go back and check my eBay and make sure that items that I would, because I do get some that are, short dated, and they will expire while they're live on eBay. So I got to be careful with that. Eric, I think you'd be all right bidding on consumer electronics if you do source by Amazon. It's gonna be a hit or miss, but just like all the stuff, you're taking a chance. Chris from Liquidation OH, he does a lot of electronics. I've kind of built myself I built a small business out of this, so I try to buy products that my helpers are good at working on, and really right now for me that's clothing. So a lot of the stuff I buy is clothing. I can show you guys a box of some stuff we just got in. So look right. Oh, not there, right now you can get like a lot of winter stuff, and this is the stuff I really like dealing with: North Face, Patagonia, Marmot. These are basically like new without tags jackets, and I was getting them for like a third of retail, so I should be able to easily double my money. You're talking, these go for like $130. These are anywhere from like 80 to 120. So, $100 bills basically I'm pulling out of this box every time I pull one out. This is, I think, the black on black. Yeah, I like this one. It's the black on black North Face. Sorry, I lost my my webcam here. But this is what I like dealing with this stuff, because it's really easy for my helper to go through, inspect it, check the zippers. A lot of the younger kids are up to speed with clothing, and they know what to look for, and then they can easily photograph it, bag it, and list it for me. So, and then obviously one more. So that's just one box of what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's $600 to $700 right there. So, and then we get a lot of cheap stuff. So the other side of that is when I buy a lot of stuff, I do get some cheaper items. And I just had this idea of basically, I don't do Poshmark yet, but I do understand the value proposition of shipping. So what I have my helper doing is, I don't have the flat rate box over here, do I? I had the priority not flat rate, but regional rate B box. And basically I had them filling one of those up until it hit just before 5 pounds of clothing. And then I'll have my lister go back, and we're going to sell lots of clothing, brand new with tags. So like, these are a pair of women's jeans. This is a Tommy Hilfiger women's shirt. It's just basically I got too much stuff to go through and take the time to list all this stuff. So just another Tommy shirt, and we're going to go through and list these in bulk and just say women's bulk lot number 101. Just items are in the description, and in the description we'll scan in all the UPCs. So then the potential buyer can go and look up the items and see if it's worth, making any money off of. So if there's any clothing sellers out there, I definitely think that's going to be a good opportunity for you. Name brand, brand new clothing, and I'm looking at like $4 to $5 an item is what I'm going to be selling for. Most of the stuff sells for anywhere between 12 to 20. If it's over 20, we've probably already flagged it and are selling it ourselves. So that's kind of how that works. All right, let's see if I have any more questions. How do you ship most of the pallets you buy? Most of the time with like liquidation.com, you can buy multiple lots or you can buy a pallet lot. So if you do multiple lots from the same warehouse, you can have those all combined onto one shipment. And then you actually still have to call customer support though. Just get the number off the website, call them, tell them you want to do a combined shipment. You got to give them the auction ID numbers, and then they'll combine them into a pallet. So a lot of times when a lot says it's going to be 150 or 200 bucks, I've got an entire pallet of like four or five lots shipped to me for a total of like 300 bucks. So that's really one strategy I was using to optimize liquidation.com, is to combine all into a pallet. As far as I have bought other lots from private sellers, and I've used drawing a blank on it now. I've mentioned it a couple times. It's not it's freight quote. So what happens is you put in all the specifics about the shipment, the weight, the size of the pallet, what classification the pallet is, and then what it does is it runs it through like an automatic system. It takes a minute to process, and it spits out 20 different carriers you can choose from, and they're sorted from lowest to highest. Normally it's like R&L carriers, and there's one other one that are always like 1 and 2, but that's a really good service. I had a pallet shipped from Michigan to Maryland through Freight Quote, and it was a heavy one. It was like 1,500 or 2,000 pounds, and it was only 325 bucks. So that was like $5,000 worth of merchandise though. So 300 bucks on a $5,000 load isn't too big of a hit. Yeah, Under Armour. I sell a lot of Under Armour as well. Under Armour does sell well. And when we get brand new stuff, a lot of times I'm luckily ungated in like the top apparel brands. So Adidas, Under Armour, Nike, North Face, Patagonia. So that's been like huge for me. That happened, I guess it's been about a year now. And what I was showing you is like new without tags or slightly used items. If those jackets were brand new with tags, we would rebag them. I don't have any poly bags here, but I'll buy like the replica looking, like ready to ship, like the ready to ship bags. And sometimes you get your Amazon returns in. You can buy these on Amazon. It already has a suffocation warning label on it, and we'll repack them. The girls that I use they can fold phenomenally. They'll rebag them, and I'll sell those on Amazon because they are still brand new. CJ, I'm down in just outside of Bel Air, Maryland, so off of 95, like 25 minutes north of Baltimore City. So You Philly's about hour and 20, hour and 15 minutes from me. Not too far, actually. Cool. Good to see good to see another seller on the East Coast. A lot of the guys I follow are either down south or further out west, and a ton of guys out in California. So now I really do appreciate everybody coming on here. If there's any other questions, I can answer them real quick. But I'm gonna get ready to jump off of here. I want to get this stuff processed and then get some sleep. But once again, thanks you guys. Thanks for following my journey. Sorry for the hiccups with the video and the quality. I did actually, I did get a GoPro 7 yesterday. So hopefully I did some video today, just a little bit, but hoping to improve some of my video quality. And I did get an editing program too. So I'm working on learning that. So it's been fun. It's taken a lot of time away from the business, but that was one of my goals, was to get the business to a point where I have enough people that can help me to where I can generate the same amount of income, but have more time away and do some more documenting, more hangouts, and really just have more fun with it. Reselling can definitely be a lonely game. And if without the community online, it can be tough because no one else really can relate what you do. It's like a lot of people don't even really think it's like a serious job or that you can make much money. So it's pretty interesting. But I'm all over my son, from bathing suits to stack stone. It's all fun. Heck yeah, man. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I've sold everything from pallet wood to clay for making art projects to clothing to, I mean, I will sell pretty much anything to make money. Nathan, if you go back, one of my biggest video and one of the reasons my channel's grown so much, I think it has almost 80,000 views. This was like the second video I ever did on YouTube, but it got picked up by liquidation.com, and they reached out to me and just was like, you did a phenomenal job with explaining what to look for. If you go back, it's a long video. I think it's almost like 2 hours, but I walk through the process of how I capitalized off of liquidation.com for many years. It's a lot of it's still relevant, but there are some changes. Back then, every single manifest would have all the UPCs. There wouldn't be very many of unknown items in the manifest, which a manifest is just a list of everything that's included. Now you'll look at some auctions and there'll be like 20 unknown items. And what that'll just say is like the general, the heading of the category it's in. So it might say miscellaneous bed and bath. But they'll put $39.99. And a lot of that stuff isn't worth that much money. So you got to be careful with that. But yeah, if you go back, I have some other videos you should check out that can definitely help you. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on tonight on such a late night. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. Have a good weekend. Get out there and find some product and sell it and make some money. See ya.